Hello my dear friends, welcome back to another video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. So yesterday was the big Andor Season 2 sneak peek preview in London. It was a very cool event with special guests, and we learnt quite a lot. Those in attendance were shown 14 minutes of the first episode of the upcoming season, as well as an extended trailer with some very huge surprises. I don't think the fandom is ready. I've heard some things from those who've had screeners, and we're in for such a wild ride. Tony Gilroy was right. This season is going to change how you see both Rogue One and Star Wars in general. And I've heard some things through the grapevine about some returning characters, some really big surprises which I don't think fans expect, and it's going to be a crazy fun time. I can't wait to break down every single episode. But today, my dear friends, we're going to talk about some big reveals from several cast members and the new press release, which has given us some new stills and crucial details about locations and some of the things we're going to see in Season 2. If you don't want any spoilers and you don't want to know about any of this stuff, then I suggest you turn away now. So no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight in. So we're going to begin with comments made by Denise Goff. She's playing Dedra Meero. We're about to see a very different side to her. According to the actress and Tony Gilroy in a separate interview, we're going to see a more casual side to the Empire, and I'm talking quite literally. We're about to see Dedra Meero in her pajamas. That's right, Denise Goff teases there is a scene where she's in her loungewear. And not just this, her romance with Cyril Khan is about to blossom. Is Dedra going to soften up? Tony Gilroy describes it as, quote, imperial casual wear. And, on the other side of it, maybe with Saw, Luthen, Mothma, I think maybe Vel and Cinta, rebel pajamas. But don't worry, this isn't out of context. The showrunner provides this example to demonstrate the opposites we're about to see in terms of tone. Andor Season 2 is about to show us some brutality like the Gorman massacre, but on the other end, the human side of these characters, their day-to-day lives. They did this to some extent in Season 1, but now they're about to take it further. And something I inferred from the first trailer for Season 2 is that Dedra is going to meet Cyril's mum, Edie Khan. The wild things this show is about to do for world building. If you thought Cyril eating a bowl of Cocoa Pops was pretty crazy in the first season, you're in for something even wilder, my dear friends. I really can't imagine Dedra, at the end of the day, just chilling on her couch. She really is going to Netflix and chill with her boyfriend, who, by the way, is not in the know about one of her upcoming missions. In the press release, they say that she is given a task from Krennic that she can't reveal to anyone, not even her beloved. Another huge reveal, my dear friends, the agricultural planet that many people thought was Dantooine, or maybe Lothal, is a new planet altogether. So I guess all of our theories ended up being wrong. It's the agricultural world of Mina Rao. Now here's something interesting. Tony Gilroy was asked about the kinds of connections that Season 2 is going to make to other Star Wars media around the same time. And surprisingly, if you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels or some of the other media I spoke about, then you might be thrilled to learn that he confirms things that need to happen during this time, things that we already know happen, are going to be reinterpreted for the season. And because he was asked in the context of Mon Mothma leaving the Senate, is there a possibility we're going to see the Ghost Crew? You guys know I'm all about this theory. I haven't heard anything on this front, and I imagine they can work around it. They don't literally have to show the ghost, and here it can just be implied. But considering Tony's answer, I'm starting to wonder if there is a chance. Another cool thing that Tony said, and this is more out of universe, is that he's very nervous that fans will not like Season 2. He spoke about the anxiety he felt, the certain pressure he felt, because we're watching 12 hours of something that he created. And he said he wants our attention, he wants to make us feel things, and he even teases there's going to be a lot of heartbreak. I've been saying for a while that Luthen might die, but I'm also starting to wonder if Bix makes it. We know there are some controversial things that are potentially going to come up in the first couple of episodes, but in terms of the fates of beloved characters, Tony says he wants to grab our attention with those, even if it means breaking our hearts. Diego Luna was particularly gracious and amazing with his responses. He gave a lot of credit to those who are just background actors and those who work hard behind the scenes to make these shows possible. But he also says, many of the things Cassian does in Season 2 will make you see Rogue One very differently. Every line he speaks, every decision he makes. He says, quote, in this season, Cassian has to understand this is a life commitment. Once you decide to fight and decide to bring change, there's nothing more important than that. In any revolution, it's about succeeding. It's not about you anymore. We know he gets to Rogue One, but we're about to find out how tough that is. The season is going to cover an expansive 4 years, and all of the creatives seem very adamant that some of their daring decisions are going to leave Star Wars fans with their jaws on the floor. Another big thing we learned is that Cinta and Vel do reunite, but they're on very different paths. There was a theory a while ago that Cinta might join Saw's group. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, but there is this kind of friction between the two characters. They're fighting the same fight, but they come from very different backgrounds and have very different priorities. Vel is very much in love. She would go to the ends of the galaxy for Cinta. On the contrary, Cinta is also in love, but as we learnt in the first season, she puts the fight first. She even tells Vel, "We take what's left. We take the scraps." So there is this push and pull, and all of this plays into what I was saying about Dedra. Gilroy says he wants to show us the humanity, but brutality, of war. You know, as much as Dedra and Cyril are the bad guys, they do have a human side, and they're in love. Cinta and Vel are both dedicated rebels, but one wishes they could spend more time together, and the other one realizes they have to put the fight first if they're going to survive to have a future. So this paradigm, and what this show is doing, is unlike anything we've seen in Star Wars so far. I love the way Andor has enriched the overall Star Wars story, and more than anything, the most important thing about this season, the origins of the Rebel Alliance. We know certain things have to take place, the Gorman massacre, Mon Mothma's speech, Saw Gerrera going to Jeddah, but there are also question marks, and it's those which fill the gaps that make Rogue One and A New Hope that much more fascinating. In particular, the stuff with Yavin 4. Something else we now know, my dear friends, is that Luthen is going to make it at least to the final arc of the season. He might die in the last couple of episodes, but we do know he was directed all the way up to the end. And in case you were hoping there was going to be another Luthen monologue, Stellan Skarsgård has some bad news. He was dressed phenomenally, by the way. He looked so badass. But he does confirm there is no sequel to the Luthen monologue from season 1. I think we'll definitely hear one from Mon Mothma. It also sounds as though season 2 is going to give us some Chandrillan customs. Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding is going to be very fascinating, and we're going to see some canon marital customs of the Chandrillans. And finally, my dear friends, let's talk about some things Kathleen Kennedy said. She was asked about Disney Plus, and said the great thing about Andor and shows like it is they were able to do Star Wars on TV for the very first time. I think she forgot the Clone Wars, but I know she meant live action. But also before they did the panel, she spoke about Star Wars Celebration. She was asked what we can expect, and she teases there is a lot in the works. Tony Gilroy kind of spilled the beans about there being a horror project in the works, which is something I've been hoping for a very long time. And another thing that was revealed is that Sean Levy's movie might be coming sooner than we think. So I'm almost convinced there is going to be an update for the Sean Levy movie at Celebration next week, and not just The Mandalorian and Grogu. So some very cool reveals and some very exciting things to come. Andor Season 2 I'm sure is going to be a blast, and I'm so intrigued by the way it might change our view of Star Wars. Okay, so now I'll just finish with one of my favourite quotes that Tony Gilroy gave us yesterday. Many of the characters are stuck at a crossroads between passion and purpose. So it does raise a lot of questions about survival, allegiance, and where characters end up versus where they started. Share your thoughts in the comments, let's get a dialogue going. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.